one of my greater achievements, not only in high school, but in life, was entering a pie eating contest. We used to have activities in the quad. This was the big area amongst in the big open square that everyone ate lunch at, in between the buildings, and they decided to get some kind of boost school morale. We'd have a pie eating contest. So Mrs. Tani presided over the whole thing. She was my counselor, and they had an announcer and a music and everything, and I was entered in the pie eating contest along with 3 other husky kids, and they tied our hands behind our backs, and the entire school gathered around, and they blew the whistle and yelled go, and we began, and people were stuffing their faces into my beloved pies. And I loved pies even more back then, because now I can go out and purchase my own pie. Then I was a prisoner to my own poor family who wouldn't buy pies, yet I loved pies. That's the thing, when you're a kid and your parents aren't into what you're into, whether it's mini bikes or pies or whatever it is, you don't get it. You have to sit around. I said, I'm not going to waste this pie by stuffing my face into it. I want to take this pie. So everyone stuffed their face in the pie, and they were going nuts, and I just stood there looking at my pie, and people were screaming, go, eat, eat, eat. I was the odds-on favorite, but now I just looked at my pie, and then eventually, just to tease the crowd, I would nibble the crust. I would look down, I'd go... and everyone's like going out of their mind, what are you doing? You're going to lose. And other kids' just faces buried, you know, when you see that pumpkin pie, or they would do, I think they used like a blackberry, blueberry pie, face just up in the hair, the scalp, the ears, the forehead, the nose, you know. And eventually, I just sat there staring at my pie, nibbling at my pie. Eventually, they crowned a winner who didn't enjoy his pie. I'm guessing most of it was mashed into his eye sockets and things like that. And I said, all right, well, there's the winner, but I'll show you the real winner. There's still 18 minutes left in lunch. I'm now going to take this pie. I'm going to get myself a quart of milk from the cafeteria, and I'm going to sit down and eat this whole pie to my head in peace. And I stood up, and Mrs. Tani said, where are you going with that pie? And I said, well, it's no good. I licked the crust. It's no good to anybody. Now I lost. Now I'm going to go enjoy. She was PO'd. She said, oh, no, you'll not. She didn't like the idea that the H-Man had beat the system.
It is diabolical.
She said, yeah, how many people have entered a pie eating contest just to take the pie with them and enjoy it? I said, well, what do you want me to do with the pie? She said, you're throwing it away. I held the pie up in front of the partisan crowd, and I said, Mrs. Tani wants me to throw this in the garbage. And they all started booing her. There was almost a riot. There's people. They're hungry. They want us to. They always talk about people in Africa don't have. Now we're just throwing away whole pies, and they're all booing and yelling at Mrs. Tani, who was then growing more angry at me, but realized she'd lost the crowd at that point and had to let me go with my pie. I took the pie. I had a lunch pass. I went home. I had about 14 minutes. I sat down with a jug of milk and demolished my pie.
Wonderful.
In my dining room.